There we go. I had to add myself to the stage. So, welcome everybody to Athletes and Cannabis. My name is. Oh, well, all right, cool. Everything's working. So I was gonna have an interview with one of my good friends, Austin Phillips, but we're gonna schedule that for either later today or tomorrow. Austin is a former Division One and pro soccer player out of the DMV area. Went to St. John's for university in New York, where he played soccer at, where he was a highly recruited soccer player. And so we've been talking back and forth for a little while now. We went to high school together. We played high school basketball, JV together, and freshman together. And so we've been connected for a long time, but obviously, as we all have grown, went off to college and become young adults, we've all been doing our own thing and separated, scattered out throughout the country. So me and Austin reconnected a few years ago, and we've just been chatting. And as young men do, we are both in very, very kind of similar predicaments as, we're going through different life experiences and realizing that a lot of these systems aren't really set up for us to succeed. A lot of these systems aren't set up for our best interests at heart. And so when Austin realized what I was doing with Athletes and Cannabis, I asked him to be a part of it. And so we've kind of been slacking on just having the conversation and dialogue just through life experiences. I've had a lot of life things happening. So has Austin. And so we've been wanting to get out into the social media stratosphere just to share his story and share, the cannabis side of things. And so, I wasn't able to, I've been locked out of my Instagram account on Athletes and Cannabis, but we're going to start doing some more content via YouTube. So please like, comment, subscribe, let me know. I'm going to have a lot more athletes coming on, sharing their stories. Because a lot of athletes, have been demonized for a long time behind consumption of plant material, herb material for the betterment of their mental health, their physical health, spiritual health, and well-being. Obviously, there's been a lot of things. It's been illegal, for a long time. But obviously, we had the hemp farm bill passed a few years ago, and obviously a lot of states have been legalizing medical and recreational and adult use cannabis. And so I think it's important, and it's an important time for athletes, especially those who have played high level sports at the Division I level, Division II level, or even professional levels, to really step out of that closet and share their stories, because a lot of athletes have had to live in shame or hide behind their cannabis consumption out of fear of being labeled, a pothead, a weed head, lazy, all these different things, a drug addict. And so really this platform, I designed really to break the stigma of, cannabis consumption. And so please, again, hit the notification bell, subscribe to our channel. So anytime that we upload more content, anytime that we have any more conversations or information that you guys are receiving the content, subscribe and like the page. Please like us on Facebook as well. We're on X, Athletes Cannabis, Facebook, Athletes and Cannabis. We have a group, then we have a page. I'm on LinkedIn. And we also have we still have the Instagram page. I just can't access it right now, but still follow because I will eventually be able to get back in there. Where else are we on? I think that's pretty much it. And so that being said, we're going to have an interview later with Austin, either later today or tomorrow. First, I'm going to share my story. It's been a minute. Again, my name is Gerald Moore Jr. I'm a former Division I All-American at Ohio University. Ohio University is the first university in the state of Ohio, founded in 1804. A lot of people obviously know about Ohio State University because their football program. They're also a federal land grant institution, so they get a lot of publicity. But Ohio is the first university of the state. It's a public institution, I believe. Again, first university of the state. And so Very proud alumni. As far as being a football player, started playing football at a very young age, around 6, 7 years old, in Rochester, New York, upstate New York. My dad played sports, and so I kind of just followed in the footsteps of my dad. I was able to go to private high school, St. John's College High School. That's where me and Austin met. And St. John's has pretty good academics, and they have pretty well known sports program. And so I was able to have success in football and basketball, playing varsity. Lettered in varsity 2 years, lettered in football, varsity 2 years. Was nationally recruited, Division One. Decided to commit to Ohio University my junior year, and I signed my letter of intent to Ohio University in 2008. This was before Ohio just won the MAC championship this year. They were 11-win team, won another bowl game. This was before we had all the success, really. We had Russell uniforms and Adidas cleats when I first showed up on campus. Now they're full Adidas, and then we had Russell and then Nike cleats, which was pretty interesting. But my cannabis journey and consumption really started in high school, about my junior year, when I really started to consume cannabis, and I really started to see the benefits of cannabis in spite of a lot of the negative stigma, the negative conversation around cannabis. I found that it really did ease a lot of the tension and pain and some of the things that I felt. As an athlete, in high school, I was already training pretty heavily, squats, front squats, power cleaning, stuff like that. So I was already starting to feel, pain just from training, right? And soreness from training, pain from just playing sports and at a high level. So had a lot of ankle sprains, had a lot of different injuries, knick-knack injuries, but cannabis definitely helped. And also being in high school, you deal with a lot of the social issues, you deal with a lot of issues with your parents. So I found the cannabis really helped me, kind of navigate mentally and emotionally and spiritually a lot of the things that I was going through at that time, which I feel like a lot of young people, young adults deal with, and why they kind of lean to, maybe a substance. And so I would only use like on the weekends and like off season. And then I got to college in the summer of 2008, went to a teammate's party, like the backup quarterback on the team was having a party. And he pulled out a few pounds of weed, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. And we had probably like a quarter of the team there, you know what I mean? Um, on top of other athletes from other teams. And so, getting to college, and after you hear all the noise about everybody's like, oh, weed is bad. Oh, this is your brain on drugs. Oh, this is, highly successful people, can't smoke weed and perform at high rates, especially as an athlete. Um, and so you just realize that, or I realized that a lot of the information and resources that were being shared or told to us were all kind of outdated and a kind of like fear-based um, nonsense and jargon. And so while in college, I also studied healthcare. I got my degree in health sciences. So my degree is in healthcare administration. And so my entire time of studying healthcare administration, you're studying the body. You still had to study anatomy. We studied the business, but also playing football and having trainers, training staff. Injuries, I kind of was my own test subject. We had doctors and stuff. And so you would see guys get injured or have surgery, and the amount of pain pills that we received or the amount of shots that we received, pre and post games to help, ease the pain or eliminate the pain for a little bit. But the entire time, cannabis is being seen as this bad thing, and coaches are constantly going after players, who may consume cannabis. Were constantly being drug tested. I was drug tested over 6 times by the NCAA and the university for drugs. Usually they're testing for street drugs, marijuana, or they're testing for steroids. And so obviously, since I played, it was over a decade ago, some of the rules and regulations have changed. But there are a lot of athletes who were in my generation and pre my generation that had to deal with the stigma and the reality that comes with being labeled, a cannabis consumer, user, whatever, And so, again, that's why I think athletes play an important role in sharing their stories and how we've navigated society, how we navigated playing our sports at a high level, performing at a high level consistently, and how cannabis really could help and has helped a lot of different people um, to play or continue their game. You know what I mean? For an extended period of time. So again, that's why I created Athletes in Cannabis. I plan for Athletes in Cannabis to be bigger than just, a platform where we share stories. I definitely want to do events, whether it's seminars. Want to get into the media production side of things. I want to get into the live events thing, podcast, branding. So doing merchandise. Obviously, eventually we want to have our own strand. You know what I mean? We want to have our own cultivation company, our own thing. Like I'm a type of person. I want to be vertically integrated. So I want to touch every part of the industry. And so for me, I saw media as easy entrance into the industry without selling product, right? Without having to sell flower, grow flower, um, uh, and do all the plant touching side of things. Way more cost efficient, cost effective. Um, Especially I'm in Ohio, so to be in the industry, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Upfront cost just for a license, I believe, for a cultivation facility is like 50 to 100,000. Not on top of, obviously insurance, not on top of property taxes, not on top of getting your employees ready, not on top of consulting costs. And it's an all cash industry. So I found the media to be a better way to just share my story, share other people's stories, and creating platforms. I am a published author in a book called Courage in Cannabis by Dr. Bridget Williams. I'm in the second version or the second book, The Triumphant Stories, where I share my Athletes in Cannabis story as well. So I think there's a lot of great opportunities for athletes in the space outside of just touching the plant. But when it comes to performance, when it comes to training, when it comes to lifestyle, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to spiritual health, a lot of athletes, we deal with a lot, and we deal with a lot of pressure. We deal with a lot of the eyes being on us and being able to maintain a certain level of performance, even in the midst of trials and tribulations. And I think cannabis for a lot of people helps with that. A lot of athletes that I've come across, and just humans in general that consume that, keep their consumption, going public, obviously, about it, invites a lot of criticism and invites a lot of judgment. But that's anything public, so I'm looking forward to sharing more stories on this platform. I'm looking forward to having more interviews on this platform from athletes. Please let me know in the comments if there are any athletes that you would like to see on this platform, and I'll do my best to try to get them. Obviously, I have some of my favorites already. I'm gonna say on my top 5 list of people that I want to have on the Athletes in Cannabis platform. Definitely Troy Smith, who I've talked to. Who just did a partnership with Ricky Williams. So I want to have Troy Smith, Ricky Williams. I'd love to have Kevin Durant on the podcast. Mike Tyson. And I need a female. I don't know what female out there consumes cannabis, but I would love to have, a great female interview on Athletes in Cannabis. So let me know in the comments. There's obviously a few more that I would love to have on there. That name's not just coming up right now, but again, this is not just for professional athletes. This is not just for Division I athletes. This is for, your gym rats. This is for your people that love to run marathons. This is for your people that love to do yoga. the moms out there that do yoga on the weekly, daily basis and do a little bit of token themselves. Like, this platform isn't just for your so-called elite athletes. I want professionals. I want professionals that, have a day job, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an administrator, whether you're in the healthcare field, whatever, whether you're a trucker. But if you have some type of athletic background, you like to exercise, work out, lift weights, you like to run, whatever you like to do, we want to hear your story. So, again, my name is Gerald Moore Jr., founder of Athletes in Cannabis. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. It'll inspire me. It'll motivate me to do more content on this platform. Please share the platform. Again, please comment and let me know who you want to see, what topics you want to see discussed on this platform as well. We're always looking for topics. And if anybody wants to volunteer to be a part of the platform to help me move the platform forward, definitely need some media people who understand media production, people that want to share the content, people that want to edit the content, people that want to promote the content, people that want to help with events, people that want to help with merchandise, people that want to help grow this brand, grow this business, because I do see it as a business and I do see it as a great opportunity to give back to the community, but also to create more opportunities. So thank you all for tuning in. Peace.